watching Floyd Steinberg's YouTube channel. And last week I noticed you can buy the Zoom ARQ-96, a groove box from Zoom with their own sequencer and sampler and such things built in for the ridiculously low price of $99 over at Thomann's. And I thought, well, why not take the occasion and compare this thing, which is often regarded as a toy by most people, to a well-beloved hardware sequencer and synthesizer like the Elektron Digitone. Yeah, both of these machines are really great, but it's interesting to see what you get for $99 compared to this machine, which is around $600 in most countries. Okay, and I'm well aware I will be the target of criticism for making this video, or I could be the target of criticism for making this video, but I'm not forcing my conclusions onto you, and I'm not criticizing your life choices, okay? So take this as good fun, and I think the outcome is quite interesting, so let's go. Part 1. Comparing the hardware. The Zoom ARQ is a very strange and unique looking device. The feature which draws most attention and raises most eyebrows is the ring, featuring 96 velocity and aftertouch sensitive pads, hence the name. And this can be used for playing notes or triggering sequences. The pads can light up in different colors and display some visual effects if wanted. You can also remove the ring from the base and use its built-in motion detectors to control the filters, amplitude or other things in your track. Alternative uses for the ARQ's ring. Part 1. You can use it for reading books in dark places. On the base station, there are 4 encoder wheels and a number of buttons for editing and controlling your sequences. The ARQ-96 boasts 16 voices of polyphony and multi-timbrality, which means it can play 60 notes at once and each note can have a different sound. On the base station there are 6.3mm stereo audio outputs, headphone connection and 6.3mm stereo audio inputs for recording and sampling or just adding external gear into your mix. There's an SD card slot for storing your samples and music. The overall build quality of this machine is okay. Everything is built from plastic, and although it never really failed on me, I always expected to stop working any time. And just in case, also order a can of contact spray for cleaning that select button. You'll need that sooner or later. The Digitone's concept aims for reliability and sturdiness. The whole thing is housed in a metal case, and everything is built rigidly and solidly. The encoders have a very pleasant amount of resistance, allowing for tuning in very small increments of values finely. The keys on this device have a satisfying clicky feel to them, comparable to a mechanical keyboard on your computer. There are 2 rows of 4 encoders for changing parameters here, and a row of keys which represent a 1-octave keyboard or 16 steps in a bar of music, depending on what you're doing. There's a set of keys for playback and recording control, and a set of keys for accessing the synth engine, settings and internal effects. In contrast to the ARQ, the Digitone has a full set of MIDI ports, while the former needs an external USB host to connect to other hardware. This is a big advantage, and even if you have the interface connected, there's no MIDI in on the ARQ. And on the Digitone there's also a headphone jack and a set of 6.3mm stereo audio input and output sockets. Like on the ARQ, you can mix the incoming audio signal with the Digitone's internal effects and filters, but this one has no built-in sampler. You can't record audio. Both machines also feature an USB port, which acts as a MIDI connection or means of system updates. Both devices can be powered with a battery pack. While you can just plug in the power bank into the Zoom's USB port, you'll need an adapter cable for the Digitone. The link is in the video's description. Part 2. Comparing the sequencer and the sounds. Okay, we've got the Zoom ARQ-96 on the left-hand side and the Elektron Digitone on the right-hand side, and I'll do this comparison by creating the same track on this machine and on this machine. And I'll begin with the drum track. And this is easy, just go into the instrument mode. I've created prepared some sounds here. And here, these are sampled sounds, but there are some virtual analog ones too. Yeah, let's begin with the bass drum. So I go into step mode, press play, and here we go. Now this ring is velocity sensitive, so if I hit harder, the note will be louder. And also you can see there are 32 steps here on this ring. So this means you can play 2 bars of music on one go. Okay, let's change the snare drum. Add some fills here. Okay, and the hi-hat. Okay, and I'm done. Mission accomplished. Okay, and now the same thing on the Digitone. As you can see, we've got 16 slots down here, opposed to the 32 slots on the ARQ-96. And we've got 4 tracks opposed to the 32 tracks of the ARQ. And in order not to waste all our tracks for a simple drum sequence made out of bass drum, snare drum and hi-hat, we can employ a trick and use a lot of program changes on one track to create a drum sequence. So let's go. I'll press on the step editor here, enter stepping mode, and just lay down our beat like this. Okay, now I have to hold down one of those slots here and change it to a snare drum sound. And these to a hi-hat sound. Okay, now let's try to add some snare fills, for example, over here. Okay, and now I want these ones to be a little bit less pronounced, so we can now hit the trigger button here and reduce the velocity of these steps. Okay, and now let's add some hi-hats. And do the same. Yeah, and that's it. We've got our beat in one track. This is the Digitone. Job done. Alternative uses for the ARQ's ring, part 2. You can use it as a prop in your amateur alien conspiracy YouTube video. Okay, let's continue with the bass. And yeah, on the Zoom ARQ, I've prepared a sound on the virtual analog synth. Yeah, let's listen to it once again. And we can have a look at this. It's a virtual analog synth with 3 oscillators, sine, square and saw wave. And there are some noise envelopes and filter envelopes going on here, so we get this sound quite nice. Okay, let's record a bass line. I'll go into step mode here and let's listen to our sequence so far. Alright, and now just go down here, get a length of about a half a note. Okay, now let's insert some a 16th note. Excuse me, an 8th note. And a 16th note. And that's enough. Okay, and here's the same thing on the Digitone. I've selected this bass sound. And yeah, let's enter this one too. So we got the one over here, and one over here. Let's listen. And now we got to set up the triggers right. This was okay, and now for the note length. And there you have it, the same thing on the Digitone. Alternative uses for the ARC ring, part 3. You can use it as a makeshift Christmas window decoration. Okay, and the next step, I'm going to add an arpeggiated rhythm synthesizer thing, and I've created a supersaw sound here. It sounds like this. Yeah, let's go into step mode once again and begin recording a sequence. So here we go. Now let's go 2 octaves higher. You know what? Let's add some glide to this. And a little bit lower, like this. That's okay. But let's also add some filter automation. So I'll press record. Now I can change the filter frequency here. Alright, let's listen once again. Okay, now I like this thing to move around in the stereo panorama, so let's set up this. I can set up this knob to change the panning of the sound. Where is it? Here. Okay. Now let's go back. I can see the panning is over here. Let's record once again. Let's listen once again. Alright. Okay, let's repeat the same thing on the Digitone. Let's listen to our track so far and activate step mode once again. And I've selected the saw-like sound. Now let's enter the same steps again. And now let's go to a trigger page and change the note values once again. Okay, and now I need to turn on the portamento or slide. And let's change, let's lock the parameter of this step here, and I hold it down, and now I can adjust the slide value for only this note, which is very nice and missing from the Zoom. Okay, let's add some effects. Go to the amp page and some chorus, some delay. Okay, and I also want to change the panning, and yeah, let's record that again. Yeah, very nice. And here, oh, I forgot the filter, excuse me. Okay, I'm panning once again. Alright, so there you have it, the same thing on the Digitone, but a little bit more advanced than what the Zoom has to offer. Okay, at this point I realized this video was getting too long for this nerdy discussion. And yeah, so I'll cut this here and release the second part in a few days. And also I was running out of alternative use cases for the Zoom ARQ ring, so I need to shoot some B-roll, okay? Yeah, and if you made it till here, thanks for watching, and if you liked this video and want to see the final comparison of the final tracks created on the Digitone and the ARQ, yeah, keep watching, follow this channel, and the video will be released in the next few days, as I already said. So far, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye!